Don't you like it, you guys, when you have like that one song that is stuck in your head all day and it's a really cool song? So right now, Easy on Me from Adele is it's been in my head all day so far. And I love that song. So if I got a song stuck, then I'd rather it be Adele.
Well, while we're waiting, you're welcome to sing it for us.
Look, I don't sound anything like Adele. In my shower by myself, I'm a rock star. But once I get out of that thing, then my kids give me the inner reality.
Has anybody texted Rhonda to make sure she's not having technical difficulties?
So I just texted Mary, but if someone does have Rhonda's number, that would be great. I'm looking in my email and no one has emailed me. Thank you.
Okay, so wait a minute. I just got a text from Helen. She says, "Are you getting in the TCC or on the TCCN call?" And I said, "Yes, I'm on now. We're waiting for Rhonda to join." She said, "I'm on with 4 other people, Rhonda, Mary." So are there 2 links maybe?
Are there 2?
I don't know though.
I went to the invite, I think is how I got on. Yes. Do you think another link was emailed out, Bert?
So I went
Maybe. Let me call Mary.
Yeah.
Because the only link should have been from the invite, and then I sent a reminder earlier 2 days ago, I believe.
Yeah, that email, that's what I clicked on to get onto this one. So I don't know. Yeah, I would call Mary and see.
Yeah, because this one that I clicked on has 61 guests that were invited. And it has.
Oh, here's Mary wants to join. Can we accept? I hit accept.
Okay, so let's see what she says.
Oh, she sent out a new link maybe, or I don't know what this is. I'm just hitting join everybody.
What should I tell them?
Did she send out a link this morning?
Somehow I'm on both links now.
Let me call her.
I'm on both right now. Invite.
So I to the link and I'll have them all click into here. Yeah, well,
So are we all hanging up?
So I don't have the other link then. So can someone put that in the chat and then I can just hang up and just go to that.
If everyone could stay here, that would be great. Okay. There are more of us here than there are there. I don't know what happened. I don't, but I just sent the correct link out.
Okay, we just got a new link. I'm not sure if I'm supposed
That's
to.
the one
which-
we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the email that you just got came from me. That's the one that we're in.
I'm in both links, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna.
Yeah, it should have come from, all meeting invites and links will come from info@TCC and Network rather than Mary or me or Annabelle. It'll all come from info where we're doing our scheduling.
Well, until I got out of the other one, they could hear both conversations because they were hearing it on my computer. If that makes sense, I was in both somehow.
You're starting to dial on in. Good. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, y'all. Okay, good. I hope we all get back together now. Thank you for
Yeah,
your,
all invites and links for meetings should come from info. So a reminder went out earlier this week, that was the link. The calendar invite had the same link. So I'm not sure what happened.
I know, it's strange.
Mary, you're on mute.
I just said none of us know how it happened and how Melissa, this is kudos to Melissa. She was on two different Zoom meetings simultaneously.
I'm not sure how it
Yeah.
happened either, but I could never do it again if I had to.
I got a message. I think I know what happened. I got a message in my email that said your Zoom meeting has started. So I think Mary, when you logged in, you started it. And then I went into the Zoom, of course, at 12:25 and started it. And for some reason, Zoom put us in two different rooms.
Okay, good to know. So we'll avoid that in future. I should never touch a computer. Okay, so it looks like we have a great group. We have 13 people. And I don't know all of you all. I'm Mary Kiger. I know your organizations, but don't know you all. So do you all know each other? Everybody works together already? Okay. Unknown users. Okay, Rhonda, you want to take it away? I'm getting messages. Hang on just one second. Renee, are you on this?
Yes.
I'm getting messages. People are in the waiting room. Are you getting those and letting them in?
I am not a host. So I am not. I think you're the host, and then I made Rhonda a
Well, it
co-host.
says reclaim. I'm the host now. I had to reclaim.
Now I'm
it.
the host.
All right, well, let them in, would you? Sorry, this is so crazy. It's because we're supposed to play in the snow, have hot chocolate and not do work on a snow day. Can you let them in, Renee? Is it happening?
It's loading. I am the host now. Okay, so I don't see anyone in the waiting room. I
Okay,
guess
so I'll
everyone
just
is
check. Maybe
inside.
that's old. Okay. Well, should we? Yeah, it's recording. So if somebody misses it and they want to see it, but let's have it. So Rhonda, can you
Okay.
lead us forward?
All right, y'all. Lisa Eggers just texted me and said she's in the lobby.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. What does anybody recommend we do? We tried two different things, right?
Well, maybe I could tell her to just call in if she can't get in. If she can't get into,
Well, if she's in the lobby, then she's on the Teams call.
She's on the Teams call. We have a Teams call going on and a Zoom call going on. That's
So
what the
she needs
problem
to Go
is.
down to the Zoom link.
Okay,
Yeah, they need to, all right, I need to tell, okay, now I know
I
what to
just
do.
sent a reply all to everyone with the Zoom link right in
Okay.
the, so if anyone would use that, that would be great.
Okay, hang on. Okay,
But I
yeah.
never received an email from you, Renee, so I don't know who's
You
going.
didn't?
No.
It would have come from info@TCCN Network.
People don't know who that
Only
is.
Zoom link went right to my calendar.
Well, let's see. There's no longer a Teams meeting. Let's see if anybody is going to show up. This is so sad. So can you send one more time the Zoom link to everybody on that list? Even if you've already gotten it, we'll just resend it one more time.
okay, so Lisa Eggers said she did not receive a new email.
Neither did I.
You
So-
did it?
All right, I can.
I've never seen anything like it. You're on mute, Melissa. That's okay.
Rhonda nor Lisa was on that email distribution list.
All right, there's Tammy.
Rhonda nor Lisa?
They're on the, it goes up to it's a list called 2021 Quarterly Dental that Rhonda and I did together. So it's not disaggregated when you look at it, but on my calendar, it says, didn't respond, 2021 Quarterly Dental, the whole
Okay,
list.
I just got a link now this time, Renee. It just arrived.
Lisa's here.
Lisa.
All right. And MSTER Bank is here. That's who I was trying to introduce myself to when we realized we weren't in the same meeting. Well, this has been a tremendous kerfuffle of 20 minutes, so I don't want to waste any more time. Do you think everybody's here?
Okay, we'll start anyway.
At
So does
15.
anyone have any questions about safety net processing for this quarter? Because it is due next week. Everybody's good? Awesome. Okay, then I can share that I know that the safety net report is being done by the Department of Health's office, but what they're doing is their whole, they do a whole oral health report as well. So it talks about Smile On in it and the net data from that, the data that the health departments had and everything. So I know that's being tabulated because Tina Pilgrim reached out to me to clarify some information. So hopefully when that comes out, we'll have something to see. As you know as well, there was the task force that the governor asked Commissioner Piercy to put together on oral health that I was honored to be a part of. It resulted in a document that Commissioner Piercy presented to the governor in her ask for funding for her department. So it was $94 million over 5 years. A lot of the money was to go to the 2 dental schools to help them increase their class size with the goal of trying to recruit more rural Tennesseans that might be wanting to go back to being a rural citizen and being a provider in those areas. We also, not we, me, really pushed hard to have Smile On be part of that proposal, also, which it was. We did revise it to be 65 plus. And the original ask was 3 million a year for 5 years. So that was in her proposal. Also $1 million a year for the denture grant that Smile 180 Foundation administers was a request in there as well. Apparently it's, it's varied between 500 and 750 a year. So this would allow it to be more robust. And then there was some money in there for loan repayment. We know there's different loan repayment things that TCWD does, but also the state. But the timing of all those things doesn't always match up when people are being hired. And it doesn't seem to be enough to entice people to do public health and to go underserved areas. I had asked about putting more money into the safety net in that proposal, and that was not met with agreement. However, the document that went to the governor that Commissioner Piercy put together is just her ask, and will not be anything likely what he puts in. There's lots of other groups behind the scenes that have different ideas of what the money should be. And so I'm trying to tell all those groups what we need. So the pieces that we really need that I keep emphasizing is Smile On. And Holly and I have done a lot of work on the numbers. And we're proposing 3.5 million, but having a little bit larger network, right? And hoping that everybody could do a little bit more. So that's what we're proposing. I also, in some of these other groups, when I was asked, said that the safety net dental needs more money. So there is some work afoot that we would, last year, there was about 60,000 visits and $1.75 million spent on dental in the safety net. So the idea would be to take that money and then add another 5 or 6 million to it, and have its own dental safety net, so that the reimbursement rate could be higher. Now, what I recognized was that the average amount we all got, so this is average for last year, not this year, but last year, was $41 an encounter. I felt like either federal money or fundraising money helped to make up the difference of what the cost was. So if they doubled that amount and said $80, that still wouldn't help us because federal money's not going up and fundraising money's not going up. So I said we could likely do about 75,000 visits if we got about $100. Now, none of it is, who knows if anyone will agree or if my suggestions will even be taken into account, but I think there's reason to be hopeful. And we'll have to see what comes out in the governor's state of the state that he gives, if he talks about oral health, and what his budget is going to look like. And even then, that's just still sort of a draft. The legislature still gets to sort of decide, and there's still the amendment period in March. But I think we've done right now everything that we can do. And we just have to wait and see what give him credit and let him come out with what he's going to do. And then we can push for this, that, and the other. There's a lot of groups thinking they want to be in control of the dollars, is whether should the health department be in control? Should Smile 180 be in control? Hope Smiles, like whoever. So the governor's office has a lot of decisions to make, but they're getting a lot in all their ears. And I just wanted to share that I have been in their ear and pushed as hard as possible, because I think, one of the immediate things we can do to improve oral health of adults is to put money, right into the pockets of the people that are doing the good work, which is all of us, at a higher level, and then we could do more. You also need to know that in the background, the Bureau of TennCare has asked the American Rescue Plan to fund adult dental Medicaid for 610,000 people. So, you know, that is the most equitable answer. And of course, the answer that we all think should occur. Whether or not it will happen remains to be seen. If it does happen, that's great. That means more people, you know, will have coverage. For those of you that don't take any TennCare or insurance plans, then hopefully the demand burden will be a little bit less, and you will have places to refer people that are, you know, on Medicaid. So then you can, you know, there's still going to be huge loss of people, right? That are like, if you looked at your rolls now, most of you, the people you are seeing don't have Medicaid, or they'd be going to a different medical, right? If you're medical and dental. So it's probably not going to change very much on who's coming to you, but it does mean that there's that other investment. So I've been trying to say to everyone that we really need both things, right, to happen. But this is like a really exciting time. More, you know, talk about oral health is happening than ever before. So all I can recommend right now is that you take a good hard look at your dental program, what you think your capacity is, do a little bit of modeling. If X should happen, you know, and you had more dollars, would that allow you to recruit? If you have an empty dentist, you know, spot, what sort of things do you need? What is missing in your structure? You know,
Gap analysis. And really for TCCN members participating in the disparities work, this gap analysis work will be happening, because that's the point of a lot of that funding, is to encourage people to grow and expand services. So sorry to interrupt, but I just want to say that is coming, and TCCN will be incentivizing people to complete the survey with considerable amount of money. And then when you complete your plan, there's another allotment of money, because we want everybody to be thinking about this in concert, because these funds are out there, not just
Yeah.
the department.
well, the big risk is that we do anything with the safety net money, like if it's moved from the health department or it's restructured in any kind of way, you know how long it's been since we get paid now, right? Like, we can't have this kind of delay, especially if you hire someone and you start doing a bunch of work and you don't get paid for 4 or 5 months, you're really going to be in trouble. So I think it's thinking through what that might look like and what you might need. And that may be, you know, maybe that's something you go to Smile 180 Foundation and say, look, you need to float me until I get paid. Not a horrible thing to think about, or a line of credit, or like whatever you could do if it's going to happen. And the same thing with the Smile On, right? Like, we don't know, like, will we be able to, will they give us all the money for the year? That would be the ideal, because Interfaith doesn't have, you know, the millions of dollars sitting around to pay you till we get paid. Same sort of scenario. So it's trying to get that house in order, if I can help
Thank
with
you
that.
for your advocacy. I feel like we need to do a little summary. We need to do a little article about your sort of advocacy, dental oral health advocacy update, because that was really informative. And I think everybody should know about it in the network, that there's this.
Well, the thing is that,
progress.
you know, again, it's a lot of, it's not the way it should work. It's a lot of behind closed doors and who has an ear. So then, you know, you put stuff out where everyone can get at it, Mary, then it creates like confusion and more yelling in the ears. And I don't
Yeah.
want, you know, any of the trust to be derailed.
Right, it's too sensitive where it is. I gotcha. Okay,
Right.
well,
And
you're
I
a
know
leader,
that the
so-
Tennessee Justice Center wants to put out a big brief and want some endorsements on it, but the Tennessee Justice Center can be quite insightful. So
Insightful, is that the word you wanted? Insightful, or insightful of riots, or they can be.
Yeah, that's what I
provocative.
mean. I don't mean.
Yeah, they can be
SIGHT.
provocative. Yeah.
Yes, and they've sued
Okay.
TennCare before and so it's like we have to be careful, like,
They have a different mission.
right.
We
And-
don't
and
mix
so-
logos. That's our stance. TCCN doesn't mix logos with TJC. That's the bottom line. We don't. We do not, we don't. If they're on the page, we're not. Because of that, I mean, you just have to decide. And it's not that we don't support their policies. We do, and we work with them, obviously, but that behavior, that sort of, T-bombing the governor sort of strategy is not a TCCN approved means of communication.
Right. So we will just have to hold tight until we hear from the governor, what's in that, and then see how we can best mobilize. And I think the alliance is the best way for us to strategize through that. And that meeting is the middle of February. So
Why do we have an alliance and we have a separate thing? Like, can't all these things be one? Why can they not be one?
well, Mary, this group is specifically about the safety net dollars.
And the other
Not
people. in the alliance aren't.
everybody does not get safety net dollars, so it is irrelevant to them, the conversation around the safety net.
Right.
So that's,
But
the alliance is the
wouldn't-
advocacy group, and people can choose anyone doing dental to be a member of that. And it is a broader thing that works on issues that aren't necessarily TCCN approved issues.
I
or-
got you. So all of this though, okay. I do see that. It's just that it seems like because of the alliance, you wouldn't need this separate forum, but there are questions and concerns. And we're very fortunate to have you leading, the quiet diplomacy on behalf of oral health for the state of, the free and charitable sector in Tennessee. That's a gift. So,
Well, and I think we have to, recognize too, like with the safety net, there are other players. And what we do with the dental piece and what we advocate for, like, affects the other work in whole body health, behavioral health and medical health and everything. So I think we have to be conscious of that in this discussion around safety net. What we understand is that the cost for the dental visit is much higher than a medical visit. And I don't think any of our medical counterparts could argue with that, but maybe Melissa or Helen want to weigh in on the cost is much higher, and you agree. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
And if
I mean,
you look at, and if you look at the amount of spend out of the pot, like, wasn't there like 18 million and 1.7 million was spent on dental? Right? So
Yeah.
we have to figure this out some way, but we also then have to deliver the money. If the governor allocates it this way, I was told they're just thinking about a 1-year thing. Now they want to keep doing it, but we have to show results. And if we go from 60,000 visits to 62,000 visits, and they had given us $5 extra million, that's not going to look good, right?
Yeah.
And we have to hold to what we all believe in, and that visit should incorporate the most things that we can, which is the right way to treat the patient, not 30-minute visits, but a visit that has an oral cancer screening, application of SDF, a blood pressure screening, a sugar screening, a diagnosis, the most treatment, doing quadrant dentistry, and moving the treatment plan along the most that we can in that visit, to make the cost of the materials and the infection control and the anesthesia and everything worthwhile, because it's very tempting to ramp up visits. At the same time, it's very tempting to do care that is not necessary or that is not going to have impact. So you can over procedure. You can also under procedure and cut those visits short. There are many ways to game the system. But as a group, we commit together that we're all going to do the same thing and do it the same way and have that first and foremost, we'll be fine. Now, I've had some questions from people about when can they be a new joiner to safety net funding? Does anyone have an answer? Have we heard anything about that?
I'm going to ask for another update. They had opened it and TCCN sends alerts whenever, we are told that they're opening it for applications. We send alerts out and we put it on, Facebook and website and all that
Well, I
stuff.
had a group contact me yesterday. So,
Yeah, it may still be open. I'll ask Madeline.
okay.
Yeah.
And then like, again, if we kind of change who's managing it or how it's structured, will we still open to new? Like looking at how much there is and what does that look like? And really, I mean, we went from per extraction to per extraction and per cleaning to the new way of encounter, but we need to go even further and value base it, right? So it needs to be
Absolutely.
revamped more. And really the denture money should really be part of it, right? And trying to be efficient. And all of our data should able to be aggregated so we can look, just like we do a Smile On, we can look and see, oh, Helen's clinic's pretty inefficient versus Melissa's, looking at how many procedures they do or whatever, you know what I mean? So that we can coach along and help. The safety net, there has been no dentist oversight or dental professionals oversight of how it's done and how it's spent. So, part of the vision and what I've told them is let's get the money out now at a higher rate and then let's spend next year, because we're all having the more money, on coming up with a revamp of next level of how to make it, really, really good. And we'll know a little bit more about Medicaid and who that covers so that we can tailor, and we'll know if, the seniors are taken care of, et cetera. So we can design it so that it helps to cover the cost better. So I've talked a lot. I do want to hear from you if you think that any tweaks need to be made to that thought process.
I like the idea of asking for a big bump because you cannot expect anybody to shell out the money to change the way they're operating and see more patients or do more extensive visits if they have to wait 4, 5, 6 months to get paid.
Yeah.
So we've got to figure out some way to do that. I too would love to see it go to a value-based system, more like Smile On has been. But I also recognize that this is already January. We still don't even have our medical contract with the state for, the safety net. We've got our dental contract in December, but we're still waiting on our medical contract. So I don't think if we were to make that type of overhaul, it could be pulled off by July. I don't mean to be negative, Nellie, but I think that would probably be reaching too far to have that type of overhaul. I want to second what Mary said. I really appreciate all the work Rhonda has put into this and the countless hours.
We would just be so lost. I mean, we wouldn't have a voice, I mean, you're such a leader, and we're just so fortunate to have you. It's why we try to share you with other people. But
Well, proof will be in the pudding. That's
hey, you're in the room. That counts for a lot.
Yeah.
That's really important. You're in the room. They're calling you for your ideas.
well, I don't know if
appreciate
they're
that.
calling me, but I'm forcing my way in. So there you go. But it can't be worse is usually my theory. Like, you can't make it worse, so.
That's how you
Just-
stayed in
just
all these
keep
years.
Trying to tweak it, but like, I don't know the unintended consequences. Like, the thing is, Smile 180 Foundation with the denture money, we get paid pretty quickly, right? And it's pretty easy on our end. That's a pretty good way to go. So if we can have safety net money more like that, where it goes out quickly and it's easier on our end, it would be good. But I also think that we need to, we tout that there's a safety net or that there's a TCCN network, but we are really not networked except for Smile On. So
Not as much as we want to be.
right, but we could take the Smile On like software and use that for safety net, and it would track everything.
Let's do that. Have you proposed that?
I'm yes, propose that, but there are other people that have the ear of the funders and they want to use their own and this and that. So I'm pushing. But I think that would also work well when there's like a pop-up free event and they want to refer patients, right? They could create a file about the person and send them like our CDHCs do. And then we have a greater idea of everybody's capacity and tracking, especially since we all have the varying EMRs. But I would love to see that happen, that's how we do it. But again, it works with Smile On because that's how we get paid. If you don't do it, you don't get paid. So like the safety net would have to be like, that's how we get paid. So we would all log on and create the file and do it.
But they know that they're very administratively challenged. I mean, they know that you and our medical clinics too, we're still hanging out there waiting for the disparities grant to get.
Yeah, but the idea, Mary, is
The whole
that the
thing
health
is-
department wouldn't get any of this money. It's not them that want the money. I mean, they
Missed
do.
the first part. What'd you say? Without,
Yes, the health department would like to have the money and administer these, but there are other groups that want the money, that have their own ideas.
right, and if they could do it faster, I say, let's evaluate that potential because, I mean, it couldn't be any slower. The contract administration and the payments are unacceptably slow. I mean,
Yeah.
the state would never accept us acting like that as a vendor. We have to all be on our P's and Q's and turn our reports around in 2 days, but they can, so no, that has to
But
change.
it's a huge responsibility for us to deliver on what we're asking. I mean, we look around our screen on the challenges that we all face in having a, fully staffed operational clinic. Like, if we're going to spend money, we got to be able to recruit and do it. Like, it's a tall order. Like, and Smile On gave upfront money plus, good payment, and there was still a struggle to hire. So that nut has to be cracked. And I think that, the loan repayment helps, but it could be other factors like civics within the town, like the Doc Hollywood movie, trying to recruit people in. And I think it's getting to the fourth year students and talking to them about public health and showing them they can make a good living doing public health, but then we have to pay a good living. And we have to tell funders, we need to pay. And they
But
make
it's also about
this-
apprenticeship. Sorry to interrupt, but I think the whole workforce development thing is very much going to be bursting on the scene because the need is so real. And I
Right.
think the apprenticeships, like what Sabrina's team has kind of demonstrated in their region in terms of how they work with universities and create high school programs, and then they get people interested then at another level to take some more training. And it's in situ workforce development, which is what we really need to do. It's a time investment, of course, because you have to reach into the younger
Right, well,
population.
you need both. You need the money for the services and you need the workforce. And it's chicken or egg in a lot of situations, but you kind of have to figure out what role you want to play. Is it with the dentist group, the assistants group, the hygienist group, the CHC group? Like it's a whole professional team. And that doesn't even count the dental office manager, which I think all of you would say is the most valuable person on your team. And there's no training really for that. They just kind of come that way, right? Or you train them yourself. So the workforce is a big thing. What I had been pushing to the state was trying to create like a Tennessee Service Corps, where it is celebrated people that are in service, kind of like military, but you're in public health service, and then you're networked. All the dentists that are serving in our clinics are networked together. And if it's a young dentist just out of school, they have mentorship from Helen's dentist, right? Or whoever. And they have opportunities to have ongoing training throughout their time that they're in Service Corps to help them develop skills. They may not, like implants, they may not be doing implants at Melissa's clinic, but they could go to a couple weekend courses run by volunteers, and that would help them stay in the Corps. Right, that they would still be invested to do the work. But also, like, public health dentistry is not private practice dentistry, and that's one of the biggest fights I have. Is a lot of private practice people think they know how to do this, and they don't. It's treatment planning, and the care delivery is different, and you need to have experience in doing it, and they don't learn it in dental school. And so it's a very, the development of that group, I think, is key to success. So we'll see.
Ron, I have a question for you. This is Lisa. I know that you've looked at, you've seen the output of all of our clinics. Do you feel like we can easily provide 75,000 visits? You're pretty much the only one other than, say, Safety Net and Smile 180 that has a clue of what we're all doing. How easy, you've said it's a big hurdle to get us to, but do you feel like we can get to the 75,000 visits?
Well, and it depends, like there's still some groups that are not, like some FQHCs that are not signed in. And some of them are not, didn't start but January. So we don't have all of their data. Now, Christ Community is the biggest provider right now. So, some of our smaller clinics, like it's not, if you increased 50%, it's still not going to be a huge amount, right? But it depends on how much some of the bigger did. So it was a guesstimate. And that's kind of the risk, is that I needed to put it high enough that they could see that there was a return on their investment, but I also wanted to put it at a number where I thought we could get to, because if we don't do it, there's not going to be the funding again. And that was the same with Smile On, with Holly and I looking at how do we grow a little bit, because we can add some more clinics that aren't currently in Smile On. But then, like, not everybody is comfortable serving the over 65 set, or has, you have to make room for them in the practice. So it's a push too. I think, what did we say, 12,000 visits, Holly?
We did.
For the year, which will be a bit of a push, because I think we've been averaging about 10.
Yes, that's right.
I got an answer from Madeline, by the way, just brief interruption. She says they're finalizing the application online, and so they'll release it soon where people can reapply soon. So stay stay alert. She'll let me know. I'll
And
let
you
you
will
know.
send that out to all the TCCN members?
Always,
Okay,
really
so-
to the
yeah,
whole network.
Because this
Yeah.
clinic, I don't think is part of.
No,
Dr.
to everybody we
Holly?
know.
Yeah.
And if you know clinics that we don't know, please tell us. I mean, there are a lot of folks functioning out there that TCCN could approach. I mean, we haven't really been staffed to be able to grow too much more, but we will soon. And, you know, we want them in the network. That's it all. We all get better together, especially when you have leaders like Rhonda.
Okay, any other thoughts? We said we would just do 30 minutes, and I know we didn't start till 1:45, but
Yeah, some folks are having to jump out, but
Yeah.
I think this is extremely interesting. I wish Ray were here to hear some of this policy stuff. Ray Bond, who's our head of the policy committee. It's good stuff.
well, until we see what, comes
I
out
know.
of the governor's budget, but then we will be all hands on deck to make sure that our local legislators are educated about what it's about and what it will do. So,
Okay, we'll keep our eyes out.
okay.
No other last minute questions for Rhonda? Text me when you get home safely.
I got my snowshoes. Didn't walk home.
Really?
I was gonna skate home.
Do. Thank you, guys. It's wonderful. Stay well.
And thanks, everybody.